Ever wonder what really goes into creating an app that just works? That feels like it was made just for you? Today, we're going behind the scenes on the design of Organika, a wellness app for women, to see how listening to people can turn a cool idea into a genuinely great digital experience.
So let's start at the end, shall we? This is it. This is Organika's final landing page. And yeah, it looks clean, it's inviting, it feels empowering. But the real magic isn't just what you see here, it's the story of how they got here. And that's the big question, right? How do you do that? Well, this is a story about listening, about understanding, and about turning real human needs into something you can actually use and enjoy. So let's follow the clues. Organika had a super clear goal from the get-go. They wanted to inspire, educate, and empower women on their wellness journeys. But they knew that to really be a companion for people, the design couldn't just start with tech, it had to start with people. And this right here is the golden rule. Before you even think about pixels or code or color palettes, you have to start by understanding the user. This is where the real detective work begins. So, this brings us to the research phase. Think of it like we're detectives on a case. The design team's first mission was to gather clues, and that meant sending out surveys and just listening really carefully to what potential users were saying. And the very first clue they found, honestly, it was a total curveball. You'd think a wellness app would be mostly for a younger crowd, right? But the data showed that a whopping 80% of potential users were between 35 and 54. The other 20% over 55. This one insight changed everything.
Okay, so what did this specific audience actually want? Well, the data couldn't have been clearer. As you can see, there was a three-way tie for the most requested features. 75%, 3/4 of them, wanted personalized wellness plans, fitness regimens, and a weight tracker. This gave the team a rock-solid foundation to start building on. But here's where it gets really interesting. They didn't just stop at multiple-choice questions. They asked open-ended ones, and that's where the gold was. People started asking for really specific, personal stuff. Info on menopause, nutrition tips for women as they get older, and even self-defense content. This was the stuff that would make the app feel like it truly gets them. Now, in the design world, all these frustrations and obstacles have a name. They're called pain points, and a good design's #1 job is to solve them. You could think of them as the main culprits in our little detective story. And the investigation zeroed in on 3 main culprits. First, people were just tired of confusing, complex navigation in the apps they were already using. Second, they were really worried about who was seeing their private health data. And finally, they just couldn't stay motivated. These were the big challenges Organika had to solve. Okay, so the clues are all on the table. Now the process shifts from research to creation. It was time to start connecting the dots and build an identity for Organika that spoke directly to what its users needed. And you know, it doesn't start with some fancy high-tech software. Nope. As you can see, it all began with a simple sketch on paper. This is called a user flow map, and it's basically the blueprint for the whole app, planning out every single screen and click from the user's point of view. And from that simple blueprint, the visual style started to come to life. Check this out. On the left, you see the inspiration, these soft, organic colors and shapes from nature. And then on the right, you see how that feeling gets turned into a structured system with a clear color palette and typography. This is how you bridge the gap between an idea and a working product. All right, now for the big reveal. Let's see how all of that research and all that creative work actually came together to solve those user pain points. So, the solution had 3 key parts. First, to fight that complex navigation problem, they designed a super clean interface with big, easy-to-read text and high contrast, perfect for their target audience. Second, they made sure all the wellness plans were clear and the descriptions were straight to the point. And third, to tackle motivation, they built a community forum where users could connect and support each other. But they went even deeper. This is what separates a good app from a truly great one. What you're looking at here is the tab order. It's basically the path that screen reading software follows for users with visual impairments. By building this in from the very beginning, they made sure the app was accessible for everyone. It wasn't an add-on, it was part of its DNA. And just like that, we're back where we started, at the finished landing page. But now you can see why it works so well. The clean layout, the big text, that's a direct solution to the complex navigation pain point. Everything about it is designed to build trust and make you feel empowered, not confused. But here's the thing about great design. The case is never really closed. A great product is like a living thing. It's always evolving based on what users are saying and what new insights you discover. And this quote from the designer, it just says it all, doesn't it? It's such a powerful reminder that the best answers aren't found in a meeting room. They're found by talking to the actual people who are going to use what you build.
Because, at the end of the day, design isn't a straight line from A to B. It's a circle. It's a continuous cycle of building something, testing it, learning from it, and making it better. What we saw today, that's just the start of Organika's story.
So I'll leave you with this thought. Think about the apps and websites you use every single day. How could they be different? How could they be better if the people who made them just listened a little more closely to what you actually need?